Good morning. Good morning. It is a sunny Monday morning out there. Hope you all had a great Easter. Was able to spend time with friends and family and celebrate the reason for Easter, Resurrection Sunday, and that you were able to take some time to rest and reflect and just think about where you're headed, the plans you have, where you want to be, the changes you want to make. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about being a voice rather than an echo. You know, we live in this world that's full of distractions. We're drowning in noise, and we live in a time where everybody is wanting just those 10-second sound bites, these reels, these stories, these TikToks, all these quick posts that are full of motivational fluff, rather than actually taking the time to dig deeper into all of that. And there's nothing inherently wrong with these little quick videos, but they're only treating the symptoms. These little quick motivational things are great for a nice burst of energy, but they're only treating the symptoms, and we're surrounded by so much noise and garbage that it's easy to forget that we are never meant to be just another sound bouncing off the walls. You were created to be a voice, not an echo. See, echoes are safe. Echoes, they're predictable. Echoes are unchallenging. Echoes just repeat what's already been said. It follows where others lead. It avoids the risk of standing alone. Now, a voice, on the other hand, that's dangerous in the best way possible. A voice thinks for itself. A voice questions. A voice leads. And now, more than ever, this world does not need more echoes. It needs your voice. Our culture worships sameness. I mean, think about it. Yesterday, everybody's posting the same pictures in their pastel suits and their dresses and their hats and their bonnets, and they're in front of the floral display that the church has set up, and everybody was posting the same things over and over and over again. You see the same messages. Everybody copies and pastes. If you don't copy and paste this, aren't you tired of seeing the same crap over and over? And if it's not that, then it's the ads that the algorithm keeps trying to force down you. We live in a culture that has grown to worship sameness. It rewards the familiar. It praises conformity. And it shames any changes from the norm. Everybody's posting the same opinions. Everybody dresses the same way. Everybody believes the same narrative. You're either on one side of the aisle or the other, and you believe everything your side tells you, and you don't believe anything the other side tells you. And that's the way it's supposed to be, because that's what everybody else is doing, right? We all want to think inside the same pre-approved boxes. And it's not all your fault. It's not all our fault. We're living in a programmed pattern. We are conditioned from an early age to prioritize belonging over authenticity. The school system teaches this to our kids. Workplaces teach this. Your media, your social media feed, it all nudges you toward blending in, toward fitting the mold, toward parroting the safe ideas. So it's no wonder when you're faced with a decision, it's no wonder that most people prefer to echo somebody else's thoughts and plans and words rather than to speak out and speak truth. Because it's just a lot less vulnerable. You're a lot less lonely. But there are hidden costs. Every time you silence your voice to echo somebody else's, you chip away a little at a time, a little piece here, a little piece there of who you are. And over time, you lose the sound of your own voice, of your own convictions, of your own thoughts. You forget how your own mind thinks when it's not being fit in your own life, and you start living the life somebody else wants you to live. But before you are too hard on yourself, before you beat yourself up for the times that you played it safe, understand that that design of that strong pull to be an echo is calculated. It's put in place to be strong, to create online criticism. Online. People we've never met, we'll never see, we'll never have any actual interaction with, but yet we worry about their opinions of us. And the thing is our brain is wired to treat that like a threat, like it's life or death. Another reason that we tend to echo rather than speak our own voice is because in the society we've created, echoes are rewarded. People that say what others want to hear get a lot more validation. This video is probably not going to get hardly any reactions or responses because it's not what people want to hear. I don't tell my clients what they want to hear when they come through the door. I tell them the truth. The videos that I create for you guys, I tell you the truth. You don't like it. If you liked it, there'd be a lot more reaction. But most people don't. They don't like the truth. Being a voice is risky because you might be misunderstood. You might be criticized. You might even be rejected. And in this dopamine-driven world that we live in, that lure of instant approval is hard to resist. Another reason that pull is so strong is it's hard to think critically about things. It's hard work. Thinking for yourself, really thinking, it's exhausting. And it's so much easier to just download somebody else's opinion. All these little witty slogans, these ideologies, these things that society wants you to constantly repeat over and over again. It's easier than to wrestle through complex thoughts. Because echoing something requires no thought at all. Voices, however, demand deep and a lot of times uncomfortable reflection. So what's wrong with echoing? Just because it's so much easier, right? What's wrong with just echoing? Well, if you've ever felt invisible or disconnected or resentful or dissatisfied with what's going on in your life, it's probably because you've been echoing a lot more than you've been voicing. And when you live life like as an echo, you pay the price. You lose authenticity. You lose touch with who you really are. You lose influence. Echoes don't change lives or start movements. Voices do. You lose freedom. When you live by the script that everyone wants you to live by, that you did not write, you are stuck in roles that you didn't choose. And you lose fulfillment. You can look like everything on the outside is succeeding, but you still feel hollow. If the life that you're living does not reflect your true convictions, no matter how successful you look on the outside, I promise you, you feel empty and hollow. And the irony to all of this is that the very belonging and the respect that you think you're going to get by echoing others is hollow when it's not built on the truth. You can be loved for the mask you wear. I've done a video on the masks that we wear, and you can be loved for that mask you wear, but you know that love will never reach the real you. So echoing all the time is costly. What does it mean to actually be a voice? Now, that does not mean being loud for the sake of being loud. Sometimes a voice is the quietest thing in the room. It doesn't mean being aggressive or contrary just to stir controversy. Now, stirring controversy can be fun sometimes. But that's not what being a voice means. It means having the courage to actually stop and think deeply. It means to speak clearly. It means to act authentically. Even when it costs you. Especially when it costs you. Being a voice means aligning your words and actions with your core values. And that means you've got to sit down and figure out what your core values are in order to align with them. A lot of people that come to see me have never sat down and figured out what their core values are. What values they want to move toward, what values they want to move away from. And so we work on that. And you've got to sit down and figure it out, because being a voice means aligning with those values, even when it's unpopular. It means creating, not just consuming. Right? How much content, how much do you create, how much do you put out into this world over how much you sit there with your thumb just scrolling through mindlessly over and over and over. Being a voice means leading, not just following. It means recognizing that your life is a platform and deciding what message that you want to amplify, what message you want to speak out about. So, how do you stop? How do you stop echoing, and how do you actually start speaking with your own voice? Well, a few ways to do that are slow down and listen to yourself. You can't speak your own voice if you never stop to hear it. Take some time each day. Start with 5 or 10 minutes and sit down in silence, notebook in hand. You know how much I encourage folks to use a notebook, to write it down. And I like notebooks over digital for things like this. But sit down Take a few minutes and ask whatever the issue is that you're dealing with. What do I really think about this? Write it down. What's important to me? What matters to me here in this situation? Then ask yourself, what am I parenting? What have I been told versus what I know inside? And what am I just echoing? What am I parroting? Again, a notebook helps. Being prayerful, in reflection, mindfulness, meditation, breathing exercises. All of this helps you create space for your inner voice to grow. Then you've got to get comfortable with discomfort. You're going to be misunderstood at times. You are going to be judged at times. You may even lose relationships when you stop echoing. And the thing is, that's okay. Not everyone is meant to walk with you at every stage of your journey. And the people that truly belong in your life, they'll respect the real you a lot more than this polished echo, this mirror. And then learn to think in questions, not answers. You know those people that have all the answers, right? And you know how you feel about those people. So I don't have to tell you anything about that here. But these echoes, these certainties, these answers that everybody has, that they know what's the best way to eat, they know what's the best way to sleep, they know what's the best way, and there's no variation from that. Nobody questions it. Those echoes cling to certainty. But voices are willing to ask hard questions. Like, what if both sides are missing something important? You know, we went other week up to a battlefield in Resaca, up there where there was a Civil War battle took place. And that's got me thinking a lot, and I'm putting together some thoughts on a video on that us against them mentality, which is what they want us to have, that us against them mentality. And there's a lot more to it than that. So speaking your voice is asking hard questions like, well, what if both sides are missing something important here? Asking yourself, well, what if I'm wrong about this? I know that's a hard one to ask. None of us like to be wrong about anything, right? But we should at least ask ourselves the question to find out. If I'm wrong, I want to know it so I can change something about my thoughts and my actions. Ask yourself, what values am I prioritizing? And why are those values so important? See, curiosity, being curious, protects you from becoming dogmatic. It protects you from becoming another carbon copy of the culture around you. Then another thing to help you break free from echoing and becoming a voice is learn to create, not just consume. Every time you create, whether it's writing or painting or drawing or sculpting or speaking or building or leading, you're strengthening your voice. See, consuming this all the time is passive. Creating, that's active. So post your thoughts, not just copy and paste everybody else's, even if they're imperfect. Create videos, do lives, start a blog, You know, if you need help with any of that stuff, holler at me. I'll be happy to help you. Start that project you've been thinking about. Speak up in a company meeting, even if your voice shakes. Stand up. Stand out. Because every act of creation carves out more space for you to be your true self. And then surround yourself with other voices. A lot of people look up and realize I'm not around anymore because I'm not surrounding myself with their negative, echoing crap. Now, I'm there for them if they need me, but I'm not wasting my time with them anymore. Surround yourself with other voices. It's a lot easier to be bold when you're not surrounded by echoes. Find people that think independently. Find people that challenge your old patterns and thought processes. Find people that sharpen you. You don't have to agree on everything. See, that's what society has taught us now and programmed us, that because somebody disagrees with us, they hate us. That is not the truth. I disagree with most people, but I still like you. You don't have to agree with everything. But you need to be around people who value depth over dogma. And what happens when you start doing this? When you actually step into your voice, what happens? When you stop echoing and start living as a voice, your life will change. You will find more opportunities that align with your real passions. Not just this surface level stuff. You'll build more trust because people will feel they can speak to you from a real place because they feel like you're speaking to them from that real place. And people will tell you things that they won't tell anyone else in life when you begin using your voice and not an echo. You find clarity because you're no longer torn between what others want and what you know. You create impact because only original voices move the world forward. Echoes have never produced a movement, a change. History has not been shaped by echoes. It's been shaped by people that dared to stand and speak their truth, even when it was costly. So, the question is, are you ready to be one of those? Are you ready to stop echoing and start voicing? Because we need your voice. Now the thing is when you stand up, when you make that commitment and you're ready to start speaking your truth, that silent trap will begin trying to pull you back in. So pay attention, be alert for subtle conformity. You may feel that urge to change your message a little bit, just a little bit, just so you'll fit in. Or you'll start comparing yourself. You're shrinking your voice down because you don't sound like somebody else. Or another one that'll slip in quietly is that feeling, that imposter syndrome that we've talked about before. Believing that you're not qualified enough to speak up. Or you fall into that people pleasing, where you sacrifice your own convictions to keep everybody comfortable. The thing is, when these traps show up, and they will, I promise you they will, you recognize them for what they are. Attempts to silence your voice before it makes too much difference. Don't fall for it. We need your voice. You may be thinking, well, who am I to speak up? What difference can I really make? Isn't someone else already doing it better? But your voice, your unique way of seeing these things, of feeling, of thinking, of leading, it has a place that nobody else can feel. There are people waiting to hear it. There are lives waiting for your voice to help them change. There are parts of the world that can only be changed if you refuse to be silent. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to show up, speak up, be honest, be real, and be willing. Choose to be dangerous. The most dangerous person in the world of conformity is the one that thinks independently. Not recklessly, not arrogantly, but independently, with wisdom, with courage, and with clarity. Be that person. Be the one that refuses to live by script. Be the one that speaks up when everyone else stays quiet. Be the one that lived fully, not filtered. Be a voice, not an echo. The world doesn't need more noise. We've got plenty of noise. It needs you. It needs your truth, your strength, your vision, spoken boldly into the chaos. So show up, stand up, and speak out. We need your voice. All right. Well, that's enough for this rant and ramble today. I appreciate y'all for joining me. And again, if you like it, if it's helped, leave me a comment, hit that like button, let me know. Share this video with somebody that needs to see it. I know that you know somebody in this. Don't be an echo though. Speak out. Speak your truth. And if there's anything in this video you disagree with me on, let me know that too. I welcome criticism and disagreement. So, come on. Speak up. All right. It's a great day. Sunny out there. Get out. Get some sunshine in your system. And take a minute to stop and think what your values are, what direction you want to head. And if you need any help doing that, give me a yell. I'll be happy to help you. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.